Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Two Friends Eat podcast. This is Giuseppe. I'm going to be your host, and I got my co-host Pete here. And behind the scenes, we also have our friend Johnny. We're going to be starting our podcast with what's been up to you with you since our last podcast. What have you been up to, Pete?
I've been going hard into Magic the Gathering, spending too much money, and building 100 card decks.
Wait, hold on. You were making decks as we were setting up. And I figured it was just something you were doing for fun. You were actually spending money on
I
these
wasn't
decks.
spending any money yet.
Okay. Yet.
Yet. It adds up. The last deck I spent nearly 150, 70.
I'm not to judge. I literally spent $100 on a personal pizza. We're going to talk about that. But 138 and how many for like decks?
Well, it depends on the deck. One card was like $20. Like a lot of them are like $1 each type thing. Some of them are under $1.
Are you preparing for like a tournament or something?
No, I just want to be mean to my friends.
All right. What about anything non-game related? Like, what have you personally been like up to? Do anything fun? You go visit someone? You have been?
I went to the Hopkinton State Fair.
Oh, cool. What was that
parents
like?
Last weekend, so that was a lot of fun. Watched horses pull a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Didn't realize they could pull so much.
Oh yeah, the horse pulls are amazing. They put these like giant like cinder blocks, and I'm not talking about like these small like little cinder blocks with holes. They're like the giant like construction blocks of like cement and granite, and they drop them on like these flat wooden sleds.
Yeah, they had to pull like I think it was 12 feet.
Yeah.
Was all I had to go. So. And
these horses are like Clydesdales. People think as big horses. These things were giant, like German horses.
Well, they have
right?
like different weight class ones. So like I don't know which one we sat in on, but we did that, and then I think at the end of the day, the funny one was watching it was a dog competition where they run and jump off a platform and try to see how like long jump basically in the water. So seeing a bunch of random dogs just like fly in different speeds and lengths was hilarious.
Oh, that sounds fun.
One of them jumped like 25 feet forward. But. No, it was a lot of fun there. I think the biggest thing I was really excited for after like seeing all the farm animals was the fair food.
What'd you have for the fair?
I didn't have like a ton of stuff, but I went to this one place that had I think it was like buffalo like meat. So they had like buffalo jerky and like buffalo burgers.
Yeah.
It was a lot smaller of a burger than I expected, but it was like really good. And then it just looks like a normal like hamburger in terms of size. The other, I went for a staple for one of my other things. Got a bloomin' onion for my family.
Okay.
So you kind of have to.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Or like a sausage.
So you're more of a savory guy for like fair food.
I feel like that's what it is. The greasier it is, the more fair it is.
See, for me, I'm more of like, I like the weird, strange kind of things that you can get there. Like deep fried Twinkies. Deep fried Oreos.
That still has the frying in it.
But it's not savory. It's sweet. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, savory fair food is delicious. I'll go to a fair. I want my Italian sausage with the peppers and onions on a nice crunchy roll. Or I'll go and I'll get like, some people like getting fried dough. I'm not a fan of fried dough.
I think fried dough is definitely like a staple for people. But I feel like you need to go venture out to the different fried food. Like the Oreos and Twinkies you're talking about.
Yeah. Deep fried Twixes. Oh my god. You bite into it, it's just crunchy with the fluff in the middle, and then you just stretch the caramel out, and the chocolate is just immensely it becomes one with the dough. It is unbelievable. If you go,
I'm definitely more of a fan of getting like fried pickles over there.
Oh yeah, fried
they fry them just a little bit different. My mom was caught off guard because she was going to get a fried pickle, and what they did with it is they literally took like the full pickle and just cut it into the big sections of it. And then, not springs, like cut into like the bigger, thicker pieces instead of like chips, maybe what she was expecting.
Spears.
They skewered it.
Spears is what I'm thinking.
And they put it right in there and like took care of it, so she was like super caught off guard, but it ended up being really good.
Are you a ranch person? Do you like dipping them in like more of a dill type of thing, or like a special sauce, like a McDonald's special sauce?
Well, I guess most of the time, since like everywhere always has mostly just ranch.
Yeah.
It's usually what's available, I feel.
See,
if I can, I'll get maybe some spicier, but I feel like the ranch completes it.
Anything else?
I don't know, that's been the most recent exciting things. Cool. I didn't have to buy any of the food my parents did, so it let me spend more money on Magic cards.
That's how you were able to get those.
Might be getting some more later today, who knows?
See, for me, recently, to get people caught up, is I ended up celebrating my grandmother's 100th birthday. I had family members come from Colombia, from Florida, from Oregon, and we all came together to be with my grandmother and just be able to spend some time with her. A friend of mine ended up requesting that I let her know that it's the first century is always the hardest, and she got a kick out of that. And yeah, no, just we took the time to spend together as a family. I took them out to try a few different places. We went to a ramen place in Andover. We went to like a Cajun style seafood place in Salem. I'm spending time here now recording with you, but I'm gonna have them over the house later. One of the weird things that I learned about myself is that my brother had my grandmother do a 23andMe, or I think it was actually Ancestry.com. And we always figured we were like Colombian. There was some Native Americans, South American blood in us, which we confirmed that we have. I think it's Incan. And whatever the Andes Mountains indigenous people are. We have Spaniard in us. We have what we thought was German because my grandmother's last name was Grafe. Turns out my grandmother's 47% Greek. Mm. All this time, being half Sicilian, half Colombian, I always figured, there's probably a little bit of Greek in me from my dad's side, who's Sicilian.
So that must be why you love gyros.
It's euros. It's euros. They're not called gyros. They're euros. Minga. But yeah, no.
I know.
I have it here where basically she's from the islands off of Greece, a fisherman's town. Mm-hmm. And it's basically like if you've seen Mamma Mia, she's from there. So I can go and be like, hey, I'm Greek, and I can reconnect and stuff.
And you're gonna sing the songs there too?
I mean, I like myself some ABBA, but I'm not gonna be singing.
If you're not playing Dancing Queen out there at least once, even if it's by yourself, that's a disappointment.
But yeah, I figured I learned I'm 100% have a majority slice of Greek in me somewhere in there. So I'm now Greek. I have these things that we're gonna hang in the back of your place at some point. We got an Italian flag with a Colombian flag, got an American flag, and now I feel like I have to get a Greek flag to represent. It's insane, which is awesome. I've been doing a lot of donating of my plasma to help people save their lives, and also as a way to kind of pay for food. Johnny likes to tease me and say so you're selling a pound of flesh for your food, huh? And I'm like,
what a bloodlet you're having. Why not just bring that with you to the restaurant here? I'll pay for my meal with, do you guys have an IV bag? I brought my own. It's okay.
That might
you go down to this place and donate it. It's...
Yo, if that cash inflow is good enough, I might need that for some magic cards.
Hey, listen, man. If you do, I'll give you my referral code, and then that way we'll both get a little extra, and that's how I'm paying for the food. So, and going on to the food, with that money that I got the last week or two, I got us some Korean corn dogs.
I've been waiting for this.
Yes. So, last episode, I had you try the sfogliatella, right? The pastry from Piero's. This time, because we're recording at Johnny's place, thanks again, Johnny, for lending us your location. Across the street, in downtown Haverhill, you have Loaded. And Loaded is where we reviewed the Korean corn dogs. Now, these Korean corn dogs, the nice thing about these guys is that you can get them half cheese, half meat. The fun part is you can have your friends get a nice long cheese pull, so you can get the longest pull from the cheese. And they come with different type of flavors. It's not just, your basic Korean, which is a little bit of sugar, salt, drizzled mustard, drizzled ketchup. They do gourmet, so they're bigger. They have more bombastic flavors and toppings. And we went with the Thai Taki, which is my favorite. It's a sweet and spicy sauce with a spicy mayo and crumbled up spicy fuego Takis. So, go ahead, dig in, Pete.
All right. I like over time chopstick.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think? How's it taste? So far, you're only at the cheese. You haven't gone into the beef dog yet.
It's really good. The sweet and the slight spice is really kicking in real well. I'm gonna take a little dipsies in the bottom there and re-spice it up.
See? And this is something you would see at the fair. Right? Corn dogs. You get something savory, you dip it in dough, and you deep fry it, right? Mm-hmm. I've taken Johnny there 3 or 4 times now. And every time it's something different.
There's a lot more involved in the dessert from last time.
So in this section of Pete's Eats, we had Korean corn dogs. You ended up trying it. You got the Thai taki. It was half cheese, half beef. And is this your first time having Korean corn dogs?
It is. We've been talking about getting it for like a while here.
Yeah. And having the
everything just happened to fit in the right spot. And I know you mentioned that one was your favorite one, but I think it's also to note that that's the one that I eyed first on there. I picked out personally, not just by recommendation.
Exactly.
Oh man, I might need a nap after that one. Too bad I'm the only one driving myself places. Otherwise, I'd take a nap on the ride home.
Mister, I've gone to a fair and I had a bunch of fair food. There's corn dogs at fairs. Like, how's it compare?
I don't usually actually get any like doughy things at fairs a lot of the time, but I definitely think in terms for, it's like crispy and not overly crispy, but it does a nice balance between being still doughy and fluffy and easy to chew while also being like crispy enough to, give like that nice, I don't know, that texture you expect of something that's fried.
Yeah. And
that's like a tough balance. I feel like some places they like either over crisp, like especially with fried dough.
Yeah.
It's like either a thin layer of super crispy and then like a little bit of air or something else and then nothing, or like a tiny bit of fluff, or like just way too fluffy and not crispy at all.
Or even worse, it's underdone, which can happen sometimes if they're going too fast, too many people. Every time they throw in the dough, it drops the temperature, and then eventually you throw something in there, it's not going to cook all the way through. And
thankfully, I haven't run into that one, but I think that's just because we're oversaturated in the fried dough market. And at least there's at least 7 or 8 stands that all look aesthetically
exactly
the same.
Yeah.
Like you have the same things, you're just a little bit different. Maybe this place has the bucket of fries while the other one has the dog bowl of fries.
Now, when you were there, did you happen to see if they had churros?
I think one place did have churros, but they weren't serving them the day I was there.
Okay.
But it was also went on a Friday. We went strategically on Friday instead of Saturday or Sunday, as to avoid the major sides, large crowds.
Yeah,
which was better because we didn't really wait in line for anything and worry about just about anything at all. Okay. There was still a lot of people there too.
Well, yeah, like Friday, that's what I did. Talk about feasts and stuff. You went to that. I actually went to the Feast of the Three Saints in Lawrence. It was their 100th anniversary. Mm-hmm. Imagine, that's 2 100s I celebrated in like a month. Mm-hmm. Same weekend, too. Crazy. So, celebrated my grandmother's 100th. I ended up going to the Feast of the Three Saints and had a bunch of their food there, which is kind of fair food. They had booths and stuff. They got the Italian sausage. But they had other things, too, like arancinis, the fried rice balls. They've had, they had the fried dough, and they also had the fried Oreos and stuff. So I still got to try some of that, even though I didn't go to the Deerfield
Well, it's still
Fair.
like I feel like fair food, a little bit of that still gets pulled out when it comes to street events. Like festivals and like street fairs, I would almost call it at that point. Sometimes they do it like very small scale, and they do it like in mall parking lots too at times. But or they've done it in Nashville, I think, a couple times. Yeah. Or like when they do the holiday stroll.
I've never been.
The holiday stroll sometimes I think has like a lot of stuff because now with more and more food trucks getting more popular, it kind of almost brings more, I guess, like higher scale fair food.
What is the holiday stroll? I've never been. I don't know.
It's usually just like where they open up a bunch of like the shops they close down Main Street and there's like ice sculptures and things. There'll be like some obviously there's restaurants already there, so you can just go to any of those. But sometimes they'll have like street vendors.
Okay, that sounds.
It's nothing
cool.
Crazy, but
it's something I want to do. I've got kids. I want to take my kids to something.
Yeah, it's nice because like I said, they closed down Main Street, so that like you can just walk around all around it, and not have to worry about anything there. Well, sometimes there's performances.
Like music performances?
Mm-hmm. Whether that's inside certain places or not. I bet you they'll have like a more major one now that they opened up the, I don't remember the exact name of it, but where Alex Shoes used to be on Main Street. Yeah. They changed that into like a performance center. So it's like a legitimate stage with like a lot of seating.
Like a venue.
Yeah. That's where I saw Recycled Percussion there back in May. So you can see that it holds a good amount of people. It's got a balcony and everything.
Oh, I got to give that a try. And now that I know, I'm going to hopefully bring the kids. So I really appreciate that. But to bring you back with the churros, I feel bad that you didn't get to try a churro while you were there. But coincidentally, at the corn dog place, they also have churros. We ordered a peanut butter and jelly churro. When we ordered these to do the review, it was easily the best out of the three. They had an Oreo one, they had a fluff one, but the peanut butter jelly, what they do is they have, obviously you can see it has a cream on top.
Mm-hmm.
They also put the jelly on it, and they break up are these Nutty Buddies?
Nutter Butters?
Are they? No, Nutter Butters I think are the chocolate ones.
No, Nutter Butters are the regular ones.
So these are Nutty Buddies?
Nutter Butters.
Nutter
Butter.
Okay, so Nutty Buddies are the
There's...
chocolate wafers. Okay. I don't know about anybody. I love the chocolate ones that are like big giant wafer cookies with the peanut butter. But these are great too. And these aren't just regular churros.
Was it already cut? Oh,
they're already cut, and they're filled with Bavarian cream.
So say I'm pretty full from the corn dog there, so I don't know if I.
You can. Feeling if you're like going through the mall and you just eating Thanksgiving dinner, but you always have room for Chinese food.
Yeah.
Don't worry, take a bite and you'll have room.
No. Go
for it. I need a napkin.
These are phenomenal. So good.
I like how they basically get this napkin, but it's like worse than a one-ply tissue.
It's also that.
It's got the powdered sugar cinnamon on the outside. It's got that crunchy exterior, and you can see the Bavarian cream right in the middle.
And it's got a Nutter Butter on the outside.
You sure it's not Nutty Buddy?
100%.
Okay. All right.
I think you got your character's virtual head smashed in too many times in Smash Bros. It's affecting your cognitive abilities to remember snacks correctly.
Well, actually, now I'm curious to know. I want to hear what the fans think.
That's probably why you call them gyros when they're gyros.
Look, you're talking to someone who is Greek. Confirmed. It's gyros.
Recently found out.
Look, you didn't even know that.
I always suspected.
How would you know how to call it the right thing?
I always suspected I was because of my dad's Sicilian side. Again, irony. It happened to be the Colombian side. That's mostly Greek. But this is so good. So good. Mm.
Yeah, I can definitely feel the corn dog disappearing from my stomach.
Okay. One more piece. It's yours. You gotta finish it.
I gotta chew this one.
Okay.
My mom always makes fun of me. Or not makes fun of me, but tells me I chew too fast or swallow too quick, so.
Chew, damn it.
I'm trying. I want to get the rest of it.
See? But you got 800 members, by the way, in the fan group. But the thing I really want to celebrate, which I didn't get the chance to bring up, I'll bring it up now. We hit 2,000 followers on the Facebook page. 2K.
That happened real quick.
Yeah. It blew up. It was great. You know, and we have over 100 downloads of the first podcast episode all over the United States, and we even got some people in Europe listening in. So Europe represent. Thanks. Also some people from New Zealand. Thanks, New Zealand. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for listening.
Wasn't the 2001 just the bakery?
Oh, that's right. And shout out to shout out to Fantini Bakery, who, thank you, Johnny, who was our 2000th follow. So very much appreciate local businesses, you know, giving us their support, and we really appreciate all of you do for the community. So thank you. But yeah, question for the friends, question for the listeners: between Nutty Buddy or Nutter Butter, which is your favorite? What is the better peanut butter based?
Well, I should never have been
snack?
a Nutty Buddy, and you're just Mandela affecting yourself. Or it's literally just that's the name of the Great Value Walmart brand, or the one you find at like the dollar store.
Look, stop gaslighting me, all right?
It's not gaslighting. It's probably what happened. You found your Nutty Buddy in there, and it's never left, but it's never been there to begin with.
So right now, we're going to be starting our next section, which is going to be local food and restaurant news. One of the things that we talked about previously in the last episode was a Greek restaurant opening up in Manchester, New Hampshire. There was a little bit of controversy with the person involved, but so far it seems that everything's going on well without a hitch. The name of the restaurant, the Greek restaurant, is called Fotia Greek Taverna. Probably mispronouncing it. Forgive me.
I mean, you're going to have to learn Greek now, so.
Exactly. And a lot of people who's gone there, they've opened and have been saying it's a good place to eat. So I'm willing to swing by at some point, give it a shout out, give it a try. If you're down, maybe you can make the trip. You know, Johnny can come along and record it.
Me, so
So I'm curious to see how good this Greek food is. Next thing we have for the news is Borelli's. We also mentioned last episode how Borelli's recently got ownership. Their ownership changed. And we have the Tomacchio family. Once they ended up getting the place, they're repainting the inside, giving it a bit of a facelift. They're still offering the same delicious food, delicious meals. Prices haven't gone skyrocketed up or anything like that. They're trying to keep it as OG as possible. And they extended their hours. One of the things that a lot of people are complaining is that they close too early. They close between 4 and 5. You get out of work at 4 or 5. How are you going to be able to go over there and get yourself some, like, a delicious Italian sub, right? Or if you want to get yourself some, like, imported cold cuts or some meats or cheeses, right? So now they're open 9 to 7, Tuesday through Friday, and they're going to be open 8 to 6 on Saturdays. So if you're somebody who's from the Merrimack Valley area, you like to go to Borelli's, and you want to get yourself some Italian food or Italian delis or stock up in the fridge with some of their pre-made meals, make sure to hit them up on your way home now that they'll be open later. All right, another thing that we have, some sad news actually. The Joseph's Trattoria in Haverhill. Are you familiar with Joseph's Trattoria, Peter?
No.
Well, Joseph's Trattoria is one of the oldest Italian restaurants that I remember. My dad used to go there a lot. He used to have an Italian radio show too, and he'd advertise for them a lot. And so they've always had a pretty good relationship. And unfortunately, during the last flash flood and all these thunderstorms we've been getting, they had a terrible flood. They've got about 3.5 feet of water that just invaded their building and completely destroyed it. They're not in a flood zone. They had no flood coverage or insurance. So as it turns out, they have to shut down that location. And right now things are kind of up in the air. Fortunately, the local Haverhill community has come together, and you have places like Stacks that's been donating 25% of their beer sales directly to the Joseph's Trattoria restaurant.
That's a good strategy, the beer sales. There'll be plenty of those.
Oh, absolutely. You also have other places like G's that's down the street right here from where we're recording, who from Tuesday, August 15th, all the way to Sunday, August 20th, they gave a portion of all of their sales straight to Joseph's. So things like this, that's a feel-good story. Something bad happens, the community comes together. These other restaurants, they don't see each other as competition. There's no bad animosity. They're there to help each other. They're there to take care of each other. And the food industry, when it comes to food reviewers and stuff like that, I always like the fact that we're kind of like, collaborators. We're friends. We're people who are always open to want to like do things together. And it's not really a competition about who's doing better than who. It's more of like, how can we lift each other up? But I do want to just quickly say that what they're going to end up doing is, in the meantime, they are going to be opening up a second location right down the street as well. So you remember the stories I talked about last time about Kruger's and Olivia's, how they sold the gift cards and then the owners bounced? Mm-hmm. So that old building where they used to be, that's going to be a new location, a second location for Joseph's. So I'm excited to check them out in that new location, have someone take up that old Kruger's, Olivia's spot, and do something with it, One last thing. Up in Manchester, Al Basha. They're down the street from my house. I like their falafel sandwiches and their wraps. And they're going to be moving to another place down the street on South Willow Street, right next to the DMV. So if you're somebody who likes, Middle Eastern food and you're a fan of the restaurant Al Basha, if you're not familiar, you can go to their new place by the DMV on 379 South Willow Street.
It might even help you wait inside the DMV for the 6 hours you'll probably be in there.
Get yourself a falafel while you're waiting, or what is it that Robert Downey Jr. asked for? Yeah, get a shawarma while you wait in line.
I feel like when it comes to Middle Eastern food, it gets really slept on a lot for availability. Yeah. There was a place down in Lowell, there's a food truck near UMass Lowell, there north.
The Egyptian truck?
Yeah.
Dude, I drove by that the other day. If I didn't have I had the 2-year-old with me. If I didn't have Angelina, I would have definitely pulled over.
It's just a truck.
She was sleeping. I'm not going to leave her sitting in the car in 100-degree weather.
All right. Anyway, that place has delicious falafel. I believe I've had lamb from there before. I don't know. I'm blanking on it, but it was a campus staple.
Yeah. I used to go to Lowell. I went to Lowell.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even stop at the truck. Okay. You can just go get yourself a gyro instead.
Listen, they're on the list of places to visit. If that's one of the reviews that you personally want to invite me to for us to do, I am down.
It's pretty. It was only like 12 minutes, I think, from my parents' house.
Yeah.
The only like annoyance is like trying to park at time.
Now, you did mention that there wasn't any big national news you want to talk about. There was specifically one thing though that made national news.
Oh, we want to talk about that first?
Well, it's up to you. You pick.
I guess mine's a little less heated in the sense of it.
All right, so go. We'll start with the less heated one.
Well, we're still mourning the shortage of sriracha with the green bottle tops.
Yeah.
So that one's still.
We're still feeling it.
I honestly, I think I've just unconsciously not bought sriracha since then, just because none of the rest is the same, and I almost refuse to have anything else. But there's the one thing that like has been getting pretty big, and I've tossed it around to a couple friends and talked to other people who have been interested in trying this. Is like the land of brand name hard drinks, like alcoholic drinks, whether it's like seltzers or like hard sodas.
Are you talking about like Trulies?
Like
your White Claws.
Yeah, but like then you get like the brand names coming in. So like for example, the biggest one a while back was Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew was doing
hard
sodas?
They have a whole pack of hard Mountain Dews. You can only get them. You can go get them, but we'd have to go all the way down to Connecticut to the closest place that has it. It's only about 90 minutes. They actually have 2 types now.
Illinois too. I almost grabbed some on the way back from Illinois.
They're good. They're actually really good.
I don't like soda though. I'm not a soda drinker.
That's your own problem.
It's a different story. Like that's one of those again event drinks. Like as a mixer, like you're already drinking. Like,
yeah.
I'm probably also gonna walk out the door and smoke a cigarette right after that. Do I still smoke? No. Did I go out for a night, have a drink some soda, and smoke a cigarette?
The thing is, like, when it comes to those brand drinks, or like when you go to certain flavors from like Trulies and different things, sometimes the flavors don't properly translate or just taste like TV static.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's mostly the hard seltzers that kind of taste like TV static.
Or like when your leg goes numb.
Yeah. But so Mountain Dew is the start of it. They had a hard Mountain Dew, which had regular. They had their version of the Code Red in there. They had
I'd mess with the Code.
They
Red.
had a Baja
like
Blast one, and then they had I think the last one. It might have just been those 3. There might have been one more. I can't remember the last one. So if I can't remember that one, it wasn't memorable enough.
Do you know if there's a Moxie hard soda?
We're gonna ignore that one for now.
Listen, man,
it's not good enough. It's not good enough to have it to be its own soda right now. We're gonna leave that be.
Look, I'm a fan of Moxie. It is. I'm not a soda person.
There's no need to defend the medicine.
Look, I am not a soda person. Everything's too sweet. Moxie and Dr. Pepper are the only ones who I feel aren't like overtly sweet, and even like then it's
I think that's just the one section of your palate that's just broken. If you want to just accept that first.
At our job, there was our vending machines. I ended up bumping into the gentleman who stocks them, the owner, and I said, "Hey, listen, is there any chance you could kind of hook us up?" And he's like, "Hook you up with what?" And I'm like, "Moxie." It's like, "What's that?"
That's not hooking us up. That's literally poisoning us.
But this is the thing, though. I asked him if he could bring us like just a few cans. Can you get us some cans? There's about 6, maybe 8 of us.
He started off nice with it, only doing like 2 rows of these cans.
Yeah, and they were $1 each, which is a good price.
And then he decided to poison it with like 7 rows total of this absolute dog water drink.
And it wasn't just cans; they were like the big bottles, the 12-ounce bottles.
I'm still on my
front
boycott.
To back.
This man has no business
7 to 8
sense.
rows of Moxie.
This man has no business sense. He never puts the same things in there twice, pretty much, and he never stocks it with anything worthwhile. I've literally boycotted him. I haven't bought a single thing since the incident.
It was so excessive. You don't need 8 rows of Moxie front to back. Nothing else was.
You don't even need a single row. No,
Was he new from the south?
No, he
Because
wasn't.
if he was like from like Louisiana or something like that, then absolutely I understand.
No, he's from the area, and he's been in this. He's in our job. He's had our been our vending machine person before, I guess. But the manager told me to go tell him, and I was gonna tell him anyway. And I was like, that's too much. And he's like, well, people are buying. I was like, no, you don't understand. You're looking at it in the wrong way. Your business sense is poor. I can undercut you like a high schooler selling Mountain Dew out of their backpack. and still make more money than you at this point. Which I've contemplated it, but I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do it.
But at least he reeled it back. 1 row of bottles, 2 rows of cans, and they're
That's
selling
still too
pretty
much.
well.
But he didn't even fill them all the way. That's the other thing. He's like filling them halfway. So you could literally put this all in 1 row. All right, but besides the trash drink that for some reason you enjoy,
Not just me. There's at least a dozen of us in that store.
there's not a dozen.
There's at least
like
a
5.
There's
There's
at
literally
least
like 5
minimum
people.
8.
Moxie is okay.
There's 5 people. There are 5 other people in that store, and they are all of poor
look,
opinions.
we're the silent minority, all right? There's enough people there who do like it.
There's too many. 1 is already too many.
Yeah, you don't see the Illuminati either. But
They're there. So to go back to the better drinks we're talking about, which is anything Mountain Dew, they also have like a whole pack of Baja Blast ones that are new. Like
You know
all
Baja
hard
Blast-
Baja Blast.
You know Baja Blast is just blue Gatorade and
I know
Mountain
what it
Dew
is,
mixed together,
which
right?
is good. But they also
So it's
have
fun
like
fact, food hack, drink. If you want to make your own Baja Blast and you don't live near Taco Bell,
you don't need to live near Taco Bell. You can buy it anywhere you want now.
really?
You've been able to get it at Walmart, gas stations for years.
Since when?
Since always.
Since they slapped a label on it that said "Brought to you by Taco Bell."
Yeah.
And then they put it on shelves.
Do you know how many flavors of Baja Blast there are now?
I don't drink soda.
There-
Soda's
yeah.
bad. The reason, look, people come to me and they're like, Giuseppe, how can you eat so
You're
much
drinking
food?
Moxie.
Look,
We're gonna
all right,
discount.
and
this.
that's now and then. But people come to me and say, Giuseppe, why do you eat? How can you eat so much food and not gain weight? Like you eat so much food. Like literally, I was 220 pounds. I lost 30 pounds, and it's mostly because I was sedentary thanks to COVID. But I don't gain weight when I eat so much food because I don't drink soda. I don't drink soda. I don't drink beer. Barely ever. I don't drink alcohol
The beer's
unless it's
what
like a
gets
special
me.
thing. It's soda, and specifically ice cream, literal animal lard with sugar, is
So
why
go for the
is what
sugar-free.
raises you.
We're already gonna die anyway.
You're eating animal lard.
That's fine.
Sweetened, frozen animal lard. That's what ice cream is.
So it gets down to the point with it. After you've cooled down there, there's plenty of Mountain Dew flavors. Yes, Baja Blast is in stores. You're welcome to now be privy to this information.
I'll just keep buying.
There's
my
also
Moxie.
like 4 or 5 other flavors of Baja Blast. I can't even remember the names of them. But to bring back to off of the circle of the falling into the pit of hell of Moxie. The thing that I did get and have been talking with friends about is the new Dunkin's hard, like they have a pack of 4 different flavors, 2 hard teas and 2 of their refreshers. They have slightly sweetened, a half and half I think it was, and strawberry dragon fruit refresher and mango pineapple refresher. And of course I had to try them all. And that night I went after work and
in
bought,
one
like,
sitting.
there's only 4 drinks in the end.
To me, that's insane. That's so much sugar.
Well, if you're not looking at it, is it really there? So I brought them home from work and I tried like each flavor first before like I had too many of them. Spoiler alert, I did have 10 out of the 12 in there.
Did you go into a diabetic coma right after?
No, but the next day was not fun.
That you could remember.
Well, I wasn't. I can't remember now if I was like extremely hungover the next day at work or not. It was. I don't think that was the day. I tried them all. Like I've had like Twisted Tea. I think has their hard tea down pat. Like you drink that, you're done. That's sneaking up on you because it doesn't. It just tastes like pretty much like a sweet tea.
Yeah.
The Dunkin's ones though, they had their taste for it, but they still had the bitterness of like alcohol on it. So like
Yeah.
they weren't, even though they were all sweet, they still had that like aftertaste that really wasn't that good. And I was definitely disappointed. They're supposed to do some more hard coffees.
I'd
Have you
have
had any
it.
like of the Harpoon Brewery branded like any of their drinks? They had like a coffee stout before that was a Dunkin's one. That was pretty good. It just didn't sell well enough. But they're going to be doing another pack of just hard coffees, which I think that'll end up being better. But the teas are definitely super not good.
I can actually tell you a fun story about a coffee stout. When I was with one of my first bands, we ended up playing a show up in Manchester called Millie's Tavern. You familiar with Millie's?
Sounds familiar.
They had a battle of the bands, right? And it was punk bands and rock bands or whatever. And after we had done our set, we sat at the bar and they had a coffee stout that they brewed. Now, most people here know what an Irish car bomb is, right? Which
If you go to Ireland, key
Don't
point.
don't call it that. It's called a Dubliner. All right. So it's gonna go with from this point forward. We're gonna be calling it a Dubliner. So yeah. So you have a Dubliner, which is what Guinness with a shot glass, half Jameson's, half Bailey's. You drop it and you have to chug it before it curdles, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do it fast enough and you just unhinge your jaw, open your gullet, and just pour it down, it tastes like chocolate milk. It's not bad. It's good. I wanted to do an Italian spin on it, so I ended up saying, "Hey, can you give me a glass of a mug of the coffee stout that you got?" Sure. And also, can you give me a shot that's half amaretto and half Bailey's cream? And they're like, "Why?" Like, I want to make a Italian version of a Dubliner. And they're like, "Okay, cool." So me and my other 3 friends from the band ended up getting these drinks. We all dropped a shot glass, chugged it, and it was delicious. It tasted like an almond coffee espresso beer. And so, the bartender said, "I gotta try this." He tried it. This was delicious. "Oh man, you gotta name it. What are you gonna name it?" Like, sleeping with the fishes. So the shot glass, you drop it in. It's like someone getting their cement shoes and falling in the river. So calling it sleeping with the fishes was perfect. And if I know now that there's a coffee beer by Harpoon, a coffee stout.
Well, there's. I mean, you can definitely find one, but the Dunkin' Donuts brand ones are going to be on their way.
All right, then let's give it a try. Are you willing to go sleeping with the fishes with me?
I probably won't end up sleeping because the coffee will probably keep me up. But
Yeah, I'll.
I mean, but then I'll also
I don't think it
take
actually has any
shots
caffeine
every
in
day.
it. But
Well,
You'll be more awake.
well, because I don't think they want to have another four Loco issue on there.
God, Four Loko.
That's a story for another time.
Yes. What? So you also said that there was more of a intense story. What other national story do you have? So what exactly happened? What do you know so far about this?
I literally just went on, I think, like Facebook or like social media somewhere and just saw the picture of what was going
Barstool.
on.
What's the name of the thing? Barstool reviews.
Barstool Sports.
Barstool
Barstool
Sports.
Sports is the main thing.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, they got some funny content. I do enjoy watching some of their stuff.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy.
Portnoy
for sure.
for the name.
That's why you have to order a gyro.
Did you see the video?
A gyro.
I saw the interaction. Yes, I did, and the follow up. So essentially, he did his one bite review for the pizza, walked out, took a bite in front of the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the owner comes out and starts berating him, calling him like a terrible person, and how he's like hurting small businesses, and then what happened?
Yeah, because it's like 3 major parts. Like, he talks about it a little bit, and then the guy comes out, talks some shit. Then he's
he said it the best. Called that man a clown. He come out and act like a clown.
He's proving the guy.
He found out.
Yeah, he effed around and found out.
Well, that's
That's
gonna take
insane.
his business down for sure.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Apparently, he's getting a ton of new business that he wasn't getting before because of people who either A, doesn't like Dave, or B, is trying to taste it for themselves so they can give a valid argument.
which I think is like that good. Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's got a niche and people like him. Even that first one was like, I love this place.
Yeah, they were like, what are you talking about?
I do like how they kept
So
going
it
around
shouldn't have
going,
been
you
a
want to
first
try
one.
this slice then?
Let your work speak for itself. This guy didn't like it, but if you have a good customer base already, then all it serves to do is bring people.
Well, I mean,
Just
only
waiting for that man's apology video, and I'm sure it's a little more fitting.
You want an apology video that he's not going to send up? Because he has that sign up on the wall.
He gives the sign up?
Yeah, he put a sign.
yeah.
It's saying like, "Yes, we're still open. No, we're not answering questions," or something like that. Orders only, no questions. We're not talking about it.
And he even had to put it on one of their signature paper plates.
On the paper, we are not talking about it. Orders only.
I wonder if those plates they use, how greasy that pizza is, because then if it's like on top of how floppy those slices looked,
Dude,
they're
good
just like,
point. Look at the plate he ordered. You know that's a thin ass plate, which means he's a man who cares about paper costs.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go there now. I don't trust pizza from a librarian.
See, I think I've driven by this place plenty of times too when I Ubered. So
Yeah.
I've seen it before, and I was always curious. I'm like, Is this like I don't know. I didn't know what to
I
expect.
tell you what I did get out of that video is I need to go to that clothing place across the street and get some heat like he had on.
Dude, you have the confidence to pull that off. Me, I'd wear that, and I don't know.
As long as you didn't get it to be 6 sizes too small, you'll be fine.
Well, all right. So let's.
Hawaiian shirt episode.
So here's the root of the question that I want to know. The root of the topic. How would you react to an owner acting that way? Like again, it's.
I mean,
how?
it depends on your
Why?
branding, like, because the way that Dave Portnoy kind of like talks and does his thing, like his response was pretty much that was on point. I mean, if they're gonna come at you like
A more Boston argument than never have been in my life.
because like I mean, if for Barstool Sports like stuff they do, swearing and doing that type of stuff isn't really against their look. Like that's where the hilarity is gonna start pulling out from it. So it's like it's just part of the thing. If like they're doing that and that's not your thing.
Do you think it was staged? Do you think he did it for publicity?
I don't really think so because like he doesn't need the publicity.
No, the pizza guy.
Sounds like they don't need the publicity, so it might have been very genuine.
Because the thing is,
Like,
I
he
feel
has a firm customer base, it seems.
yeah, I think when it comes to like his videos for that, like just him going to a place is enough starter publicity for people to want to go like, hey, I watch him all the time. I'm gonna go to that place. Like I don't think you really need to do more of that. Like you go out there and you
It's
just
a big metro, so.
yeah, like just knowing that like that area itself has just like a dense enough amount of people that it's gonna get the business like that. I think that will increase like I don't know. It's gonna increase its business on its own just for being featured on it. Like we were talking about, like regardless.
So you
of
think
how it was.
regardless of how it went, you think it's gonna help, not hurt?
I think I think that guy came out just not understand like having the wrong opinion or being on the wrong side.
So you're
of it.
on the firm stance that the owner was 100% on the wrong here.
Yeah, because like you come out there and he had the viewpoint that he's not helping people, but the big point that I took away from it or detail was that you could tell he was just truly angry and not actually coming out with any factual evidence.
No.
Was that he didn't, when he asked him to name things, the owner couldn't name any specific points and was all just about coming out and like to blow the steam out. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I mean,
So
like, maybe like, I would expect someone reacting that way towards us if we did a review and it was a poor review. I actually had someone who came at me on Facebook for one of the reviews that I did. It was Border Brewery in Salem, New Hampshire. Just watch the video, just get an idea. You can read the comments. The argument between me and the owner's still there. Yo, long story short, what was advertised wasn't what I was given. The food was subpar. And the presentation of the place was not appetizing. Sorry, it wasn't. And I was honest, and again, at the end of the day, gave them an okay rating, and came at me on the Facebook page and on the different places, and yeah, no, it is what it is. He's still around. Obviously, I didn't shut down his place, but an opinion's an opinion, and that's what I was served the day of, and I honestly would never go back.
That's fair.
We're going to move on. We're going to go to the next section. You ready to go to the next section?
Yeah.
All right, next section is our recap of the previous month's reviews. Now, we only got a couple of reviews, 3 reviews, nothing too long. So the first one we're going to talk about is Johnny, myself, and my friend Danny went to Sweet Cheeks in Boston. We were going down there to see the band Thrice. Have you heard of Thrice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was listening to last week.
Dude, they're one of my favorite bands. You listen to them too?
Not a lot of my own, but we were listening to them in the car after a hike.
They're so good. What album?
Like Alchemy in it.
The Alchemy Index. Oh, that was so
we were listening to
good.
one of those.
Yeah, so the Alchemy Index, the thing I love about it is like you got the 4 elements, and each element's
I think
a
we were
different
listening
style
to
of
just Fire.
Fire's the best one. Oh, that's my favorite one. But yes, great band, awesome music. Definitely recommend you listen to them. But we went to see the show. We were hungry. We wanted to get something to eat. And Danny suggested we go check out a place called Sweet Cheeks. Sweet Cheeks Q. Have you ever seen Chopped?
No.
So
Maybe once.
One of the judges, Tiffany, and she's one of like these major celebrity chefs in Boston, and she owns a bunch of different restaurants. With Sweet Cheese Q is her barbecue place. It's right by Fenway Park. We went to see them at the House of Blues. It was a good show. I was excited, but the food itself we ended up getting a bunch of different things. Johnny came with us as our camera guy, and Danny ended up getting some food. So we started with the appetizer, which was their famous biscuit. The famous biscuit was this huge, like, tin, and it was filled with a bunch of biscuits about the size of, like, softballs. Mm-hmm. They were nice and, like, firm on the outside, but super soft and moist and fluffy on the inside.
It's a common theme from earlier.
We put some butter on it. We ended up putting some jam, and if you put it together into a sandwich,
you didn't have any Nutty Buddies on it,
dude. Like
just butter.
It was delicious. Nutty Buddy, it was delicious. It was delicious. Easily one of the best things they had. I'd go back just for those biscuits. If you're ever there, you got to give it a try. Now, Danny and Johnny went with the pulled pork sandwiches. There was one of them that was called the Big Papi, named after, Ortiz, And it was sliced brisket with barbecue chopped brisket, smoked jalapeno cream cheese, pickles, crispy onions, and a pickled jalapeno served on a griddled bulky roll. It was very, very good. I got to take a bite out of it, and it was phenomenal. I instead went with like the Big Cheeks tray, which was 2 meats, either pulled pork, pulled chicken, chopped brisket, sliced brisket, pork ribs, pork belly, or burnt ends. And I went with the pork belly and burnt ends. It also came with 2 scoops of like some sides. Had the barbecue ranch beans. Now I thought it was like barbecue ranch dressing mixed in beans.
Oh, that's what I was thinking when you said that.
No, it's just barbecue ranch. As in you're like out in the country in like Texas, a ranch where like there's cows and horses. Yeah. Beans. So I was like,
so there's no actual ranch in there at all.
Cool.
That's like the one time when we went down to a restaurant. I forget where we were with my family, but my brother ordered like a bison burger or a buffalo. We ordered a buffalo burger, or something buffalo, and expected like buffalo
sauce,
but
and it's like
buffalo meat.
Exactly, and I'm like, all right, I'm taking the L. I misunderstood. That was on me, but yeah, a buffalo burger, and it's a buffalo.
That's like a happy
burger.
Surprise for that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I expected more. Now, don't get me wrong. The beans were good, but it wasn't what I was expecting.
It's because they weren't beanie weenies.
What are beanie weenies?
It's beans with hot dogs.
That's frankenbeans.
No, it's beanie weenies.
No, I know it as frankenbeans.
Well, that's too bad because the world knows it as beanie weenies.
Dude, Weezer wrote a song about it. It's called Frankenbeans.
Yeah. See, the problem you have right now is you like Moxie, and
if you say I like Weezer, you're gonna have a lot of haters coming at you.
There's no issue with Weezer.
Okay.
The issue. All right. Well, you can get cans of beanie weenies, but you can't get cans of Frankenbeans. All right. So continue after another thing you've been hit for a strike with.
Oh God. We also had the church potato salad. Mm-hmm. It was good potato salad. It was just mayo-y, a little bit mustardy. It was served cold, which went well with like the spiciness.
Is it usually served cold?
Yeah, potato salad's cold.
Hot potato salad.
There is hot potato salad.
I don't trust that.
You never had hot potato salad?
I don't trust it.
I'm gonna make you hot potato salad. No,
that's just mashed potatoes.
No, I'm making you hot potato salad.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it's just slightly,
not mashed.
Mashed potatoes.
Sliced up, baked.
Slightly on the way to be mashed potatoes.
Not to go off a rant, but I do need to say, like, what's the deal with KFC and their fries? I went to KFC and they had French fries.
Your first mistake was going to KFC.
When did they switch from the wedges to fries?
I don't know. I don't go to KFC.
Wedges.
They don't have wedges, period. They only offer fries.
Yeah, that's blasphemy.
Dude, they went from having the goat of potato.
In their last hair of why to them, that's certainly.
I mean, you can go in there and get like a gallon or half gallon of whatever drink they have. So, pro tip, you can actually get them to give you a big like half gallon or gallon bag of Baja Blast.
But why did they get rid of the wedges? Answer me that question. They had the goat of fries. Like you would go, who had the best fries? Oh, McDonald's has the Wendy's has the best. But there's always that argument. But someone brings up, KFC, wedges.
I've never
boom,
heard it.
instantly number 1 on everyone's list. And now they went from having the
sure about
goat. What?
I've never had KFC fries back with the wedges or now.
You never had their wedges?
No.
How long ago did they get rid of the wedges? When the did they lose the wedges?
I don't know. I feel like you don't go to KFC for fries. You go for like get the.
But they had the best fries.
The table.
They had the best fries. The best fries. They were wedges. They were like nice and like just had this crust outside of it with peppers. They were amazing.
Flaky.
Yeah, why did they get rid? Why?
Because you're like the only fan.
No.
I
They
can
were
tell.
number one on everyone's list.
They
and
couldn't
just
be on
went
everyone's
with
list. They weren't even in my list at all.
Look, because you listen.
They didn't exist.
No.
All right, go back to your barbecue place. They've probably got better food than KFC for sure. That's why they had to put KFC next to a Taco Bell for it to do well.
The only reason I'm not making a big enough deal about this or complaining big enough deal is because Wendy's breakfast meals, they serve something that's exactly like the old KFC wedges, and they just call it their breakfast fries. So if people out there miss the KFC wedges,
all 2.5 of you.
This isn't a Moxie situation. I'm
All
telling
two
you.
and a half of you.
People loved those KFC wedges.
Just watch it have always been Wendy's.
Go to Wendy's in the morning where they serve breakfast and get those wedges, the home fries, the breakfast fries, and you will have your wedges back.
Watch that have actually been the Taco Bell side. And you thought it was KFC the whole time.
No, it was always KFC.
You know,
I am not having a Mandela effect here, all right? It isn't. They had it, all right? Moving on. So I had it. I got it with a pork belly. I got it with the burnt ends, and I wasn't a fan. Like, the pork belly was very greasy. It was chewy. It was... And the thing with the burnt ends, I expected it to be a little bit more crunchy or I don't know, but... It was almost like gummy, tough, and I didn't like that.
Have you had burnt ends like before?
I haven't, but
I don't think they're supposed to be entirely crispy.
But I don't. And again, I'm gonna take the blame for this because I thought ranch barbecue was ranch barbecue with ranch dressing.
It looks like the Moxie's really affecting your brain.
But it's just look. I expected something and got something else. I'm not saying it's bad, but I didn't enjoy it. It tasted good. Their hot sauces, they had 4 different hot sauces. Jalapeno cilantro, a Texas-style barbecue, a South Carolina cider vinegar, and a pineapple habanero. And out of all of them, the jalapeno cilantro was the one I kept going back to.
What about that pineapple habanero, though?
It was very good. And it was spicy. But I liked jalapeno cilantro. That's Colombian in me, cilantro.
That's a fair combo.
But I'd go with...
That just works.
The pineapple hot habanero was probably my second favorite. Very, very close. But as a meal as a whole, I preferred the sandwich. I kind of wish I got the same thing Danny and Johnny had.
I think I probably would have been satisfied with what you got, but I would have swapped some stuff out.
You got the pulled pork sandwich like Danny, the Big Papi.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, the cream cheese jalapeno was so good. But the real thing that made this all come together, as amazing as the biscuit was and as good as the meat was for the most part, and the sandwiches especially, what really took the cake was their banana pudding. It is like a deconstructed banana cream pie that they put in a mason jar. And it's banana cream with bits of banana, what seems like broken up pieces of pound cake mixed into it, and then whipped cream on top. I could have had like that giant tin of biscuits, nothing but that banana cream, and I would have been happy. I would have easily paid whatever the bill was for just that. Mm-hmm. Do you like banana cream pie?
I dabble in it. I'm not a big pudding person.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't so much a pudding as a custard. Mm-hmm. It was just, oh my God. And yeah, so overall, we decided the place is considered great. If you're in the Boston area, if you're near Fenway, if you're looking for something tasty, some good barbecue sauce like food, just swing by the place. The sandwiches are awesome, and definitely get the desserts. That biscuit and desserts, like, doesn't matter what you get for food, just get the biscuits, get the dessert, and you're not gonna go wrong. The next place we ended up doing was PJ's Pizza in Methuen. This one wasn't a video review. This is one of my rare solo reviews. So I ended up in Methuen. I grew up my whole life in Methuen, Lawrence area, and never knew about this place called PJ's. Mm-hmm. And I just started seeing a bunch of posts online on like the group page and a few other places saying, oh, they make the best Italian-style meat pies. So I do my thing at the Loop to donate and what have you. And when I went over there, I ended up getting myself an eggplant sub. I noticed they had square slice pizzas, so I got those 2 square slice with extra Provi. And I got myself a slice of the meat pie. And when I tell you I ate that bite of that meat pie, it's like not like those British small like Thwaite style British pies. The Italian meat pie, a scacciata, is it looks like a calzone almost, and it's cut into a pizza slice. And you got your dough on top, dough on the bottom, and you got the minced pork meat with onions, spices, peppers, onions, garlic, and it is so good, and cheese, so good.
Can't forget the cheese.
I took a bite, and it was like the scene from Ratatouille, where I just go thrown back to my kid, like my 5-6 year old kid, my dad taking me to like a little Italian like pizza shop in Common Street in Lawrence, and going in and ordering a meat pie, and me taking that first bite and just letting just like all the flavors just run through me, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. And I just had that like loving memory of spending with my father, just going to the corner store at an Italian place just for like some meat pie. And then I sit back, I'm looking around, and I'm like back in this restaurant. I'm like, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is great. And there's nothing like it either. Like, I was almost in tears. It was so good. But it's just, if you haven't had these Italian meat pies, Pete, you have to try it. Like, I am willing to get it to bring it for the next interview, just so the next episode, so you can taste it. It is its own thing.
Well,
it's unmistakably like a Merrimack Valley thing that came from Italy. The eggplant was very good. It was on the smaller side, the eggplant sub, but the flavor was huge. The pillowy soft roll was engulfed around the eggplant parm. It was sliced very, very thin. It was tender. And the cheese, just like you said, the best kind of subs are when the cheese gets just, just assimilated into the bread, into the sauce. It was awesome. It was delicious. You would have liked it. And from what I've been told, they make the best veal parm sandwiches too. So I got to swing by and get those veal sandwiches. At the end of the day, like, if you're somebody who misses those old, like, 80s or 90s style pizza places, you walk in and you got, like, like a friendly face standing behind, and you got a couple of tables, 4 chairs, nostalgia type of feeling. You go in there, like, other than running into Doc Brown and a DeLorean, you're not going to be able to get transported back to that kind of, like, 90s aesthetic feel at a pizza place.
I do miss those really weird feeling plastic booths.
You would be right. You'd fit right in. You definitely got to go. And the last one that we're going to talk about is Deadproof Pizza. So I talked about how we went to the Feast of the Three Saints. And they had all these different places. I've had the Deadproof Pizza. They're this like pop-up pizza place. And they'll go to different events. They'll go to different festivals.
There is a food truck or like a pop-up thing where they like doing their tents and things?
Tents, pop-up, no food truck.
Okay.
And they make really good, like, make fresh dough, toss it in the air, thin crust, big airy, like, air pocket crust, thin dough, air pocket crust. And everything is fresh. It's delicious. Because it was the 100-year anniversary of the Feast of the Three Saints, they had a special pizza called the Hunnet. And this pizza had caviar. It has gold leaf. It had slices of black truffle. It had a ricotta cheese that was blended with some black trumpet wild mushrooms. Did you have any? Did you say it had like aged steak on it, or was it? It had a New York style strip aged steak that they cut nice and thin and threw it on there. Dude, it was one of the most unique pizzas I've ever eaten. It was delicious. I wouldn't say it was the best I've ever had, but it was definitely one of the most memorable pizzas I've ever had.
It looked pretty memorable from the review video. My biggest question was, are you going back to the bathroom after you finished it?
Why?
To retrieve any of the gold.
No, unfortunately, no. It was not enough. But it was delicious. And the great thing about it is half of that $100 that I paid for. Yes, I paid for it. We don't do like donations and stuff. Like, don't comp food. I don't ask for stuff like that. I paid the $100, and I was especially happy to pay the $100 because 50% of that $50 went straight to the Boys and Girls Club in Lawrence. So it was for a good cause. So not only did I get to try a once in a lifetime bougie pizza, but it was also very delicious, and I had comfort knowing that $50 went straight to the Boys and Girls Club, people and kids in need. So, other than that, is there any specific topic we want to talk about that you have in mind?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. We're going to have the interview where I had with Dante. Dante and his brother Vinny were two of the people who started it. I actually worked with both of them at our current job, but in the past. Very, very nice brothers. There are a couple brothers, and this was something they've been wanting to do. So I want to say thank you for being able to come on.
Of course.
I wanted to, make the time. You guys have been super busy doing all these different Italian feasts throughout the New England area. And I was able to go and visit you guys in one of those places, have your hunted pizza, which was one of the best pizzas I've ever had, I have to say.
That's awesome. It's a good pie.
But yeah, I want to know, like, what made you guys want to get started? What made you guys want to, become who you are, Deadproof Pizza?
So basically, this all started from my friend DJ, who owned Culture in Milford, New Hampshire. It's a bakery. And he had taken it over from the previous owner, and he wanted to make it his own, as anyone would. And so my partner Matt and I, we own Deadproof together, along with my brother Vin. We came up with this concept of Deadproof, and basically that name came from this overproofed dough to the point where it just can't be used anymore. But it was actually really good pizza dough. So we told DJ about it, and we were like, "Whoa, this is a really cool name. What do you think?" And DJ was like, "I don't really know if this is gonna work in Milford with the older demographic, and just see if that would really click with them." So that was a pass for him. So basically, I like the name so much that I used it in my current, my other job, which is digital marketing. And basically, I had a client come up to me with a pizza shop, and he was just like, "Hey, I want to make pizza, but I don't even know where to start with branding or a name or anything." I was like, "Cool, that's what I do." So I started to take Dead Proof and make it into the concept that you guys all know it all today as. And I gave it to him, and I was like, "Hey, this is the pizza concept," and he wasn't a big fan of it. He wanted more of a conservative look, and you know, whatever. So I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I'm like, "Let me, take it back and work on it." So my partner Matt walks in, and he goes, "What is that?" And I'm like, "What is what?" And he goes, "Dead Proof. Where is that? We need to go." And I was like, "Okay, that's nothing." I'm like, "That doesn't exist." And so I told him about the client. And then he's like, "So this is up for grabs?" And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "Cool, we're doing it." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, we're, what do you, I'm like, "What do you mean we're doing it?" And he's just explaining, like, he's like, "Pizza, we need to do pizza." He's like, "It would be so sick." And I'm like, "All right, let's kind of get this together and see if this is going to work." And next thing I know, I own a pizza business with him and my brother. And, we start getting the tent, we start getting our ovens, we start all the process of making Dead Proof what it is. And funny enough, our first pop up wasn't even pizza; it was
Really?
tacos. Yeah.
Tacos?
Yeah, we did the taco tour in Manchester, which is I highly recommend not making that your first pop up. So I would absolutely recommend doing a couple soft openings first, and ensuring that you have everything dialed in for what you're going to be serving, and not just doing something completely different. So
Well, I went to the Manchester Taco Fest this year, and I remember going with my wife and my kids, and we stopped at your place, and you guys made awesome tacos. My daughter
thanks,
Chelsea actually
man.
said it was her favorite of the whole area.
Oh, good.
So it was good quality stuff. It's delicious, and the pizza too. It's like I can't. All I have so as someone who's been to Italy and has had Italian pizza, I have to say that your pizza is the closest thing I've had to like authentic Italian pizza.
Oh, thanks,
So,
man.
yeah, I mean it. Like it's just the one thing that I hope that at some point you might make is something called like a pizza alla norma, which is specific to that region of Sicily. It's a roasted eggplant with a plum and roasted garlic sauce. And
Mm,
at the end, you put like fresh basil leaves and shredded ricotta salata on top. And it's
okay.
delicious. I think it also has fresh mozzarella when you're cooking it in there. But either way, it's something that's just specific to that area. My dad got me into it, and it's kind
Yeah.
of been like my white whale to find a place that makes it like that anywhere else.
Ooh,
You guys ever make anything like that? Please let me know. I don't care if you're all the way up in like the middle of Maine. I will drive just to have that pizza because I'm
I
sure it's
got
gonna
you.
be just as good as back in Italy.
Oh
But
my God, that hit me right in the heritage. That sounds amazing. That sounds so good.
but
So yeah, Matt is such a good talent. Is such an amazing talent with his recipes and how he does things. And I have absolutely no doubt that if that's something we can do, he can accomplish it. Like absolutely not a problem. So but that sounds so good. Like
Well,
I need that on a
another
lot.
thing I want to say is how much I look up to you guys. Like, I have a lot of like prestige and just like admiration, because not many people, so many people nowadays, they have all these dreams. They're like, oh, what if I can do this? Oh, I wish I can do that. And they'll have this all planned out in their heads. But the hardest part is to start. You got to really take that like first leap of faith and, put everything on the line and hopefully see what happens. And you three, your brother Vinny and Matt, all of you like were so like had the conviction and like had so much just belief in your dream that you just went for it. And you guys are you're doing great. And I really, really look up to that. And I think more
Thanks,
people
man.
can see you guys as an inspiration as well. So how was it? So you told me about how you guys started. You told me how you came up with the name and how you came together. How are you guys doing now? Like, I'm sure that COVID must have been difficult for you guys.
Yeah, COVID was a big deciding factor of how we would run Dead Proof. And thank you so much for those words, Giuseppe. That's
I
like
mean it
that mean
sincerely.
that
I
seriously
absolutely do.
that
So
seriously
that's my
means the
brother. My
most.
brother loves you guys too.
Oh, I love Miguel. He's such a good dude. Please tell him I said hello.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I always do.
but yeah, good, good. But yeah, so it's a lot of work. I miss a lot of time with my family. I miss a lot of time with my friends. It's nonstop, but I really do love it, and I know the boys do too. And you can tell when we're out there, it's just kind of like we got it. You know what I mean? Like it's our thing. And for us, it's just something we all didn't even know at the time we wanted to do, and now it's just kind of starting to really come to fruition after a year and a half in business. And to answer your question, COVID really affected how we operate, because we didn't want to start out with a brick and mortar. We didn't want to start looking for even a food truck, right? At that point, we needed to prove that the concept worked to ourselves and give ourselves attainable goals along the way. My mom always taught me that. She was someone who was like, having the big dream is awesome. Having the big vision is great. Getting there is the hardest part. So make sure you always give yourself attainable goals. And that always stuck with me, since I was little. So it must have resonated somewhere, but definitely helped me, definitely helped me with at least my part in Dead Proof. Um, and having Vin and Matt there to just kind of keep each other grounded and keep each other on task and keeping us all accountable for each other is really the biggest thing. We can always count on each other to do that, and that's that trust, that aura, that I don't even know what you want to call it, that like that the force between people, right? Like whatever
The
that is, it's
vibes, your vibes, like just
yeah,
as
it's
as
very
an
strong.
onlooker, the vibes are amazing. And
Thank
like
you.
a good example you had mentioned before was how you guys are like a band, and how each one of you have your own instrument, and how you all play to your part, and that when you all come together you make amazing music and art. And in this case, you guys are so talented in each one of your roles, you could just hop between instruments and it still flows and sounds as amazing as it would be. And in this case, the food
Exactly.
just comes out as amazing as always.
Right. And especially like on days where, let's say Matt has a family thing, or Vin is traveling, or I can't be there for whatever reason, we can fill in for each other and make sure that we give ourselves those mental health days, those days where we need a break with family, those days where we might not just be able to make it. Maybe I'm sick, maybe, Vin's injured, or something.
Life
So
happens.
yeah, and actually, funny story. Last year, Vin broke his rib at Seafood Festival, and dude, I've this kid like will never. He gets my forever respect
How did
anyway.
he do
But
that?
like,
How do you break a rib at a
well,
lobster festival? How?
I'll tell you how. Matt gave Vin so Matt was trying to crack my brother's back, and Matt is a really big, strong dude, and he was just trying to crack Vin's back normally, and then Vin just comes off. He's like, "Oh my God, my rib!" And we were just like, "What happened?" And he worked throughout the whole weekend, and then he worked the Three Saints the fall. I'm sorry, then he worked the following weekend, and then he went to the hospital. And
Oof.
we're like, what happened? He goes, my rib is broken. And he worked that whole time with a broken rib. I'm like, wow, dude, like you can really move. So anyway, that happened. but we can but like I was saying before, like the cool thing about the three of us is we can help each other out to give ourselves those days off if we need them. um but usually you'll catch all three of us together. So we love what we do and we're very happy to be doing it together, so none of us are doing it alone.
Well, the nice thing is, like, you hear people in large companies always say that we're a family, and they'll like, it's really not really sincere. But with you guys, you're literally a family, and you
Yep.
and your relationship with Matt is like a family. So
Oh
that
yeah,
is where
he's
you guys truly live that saying through. And you
yeah
treat
he's
everybody like your family, whether they're, like I said, your coworkers, even with employees. Like what you did for my daughter and making her own little pizza, even though you didn't have to. She loved it, and she's
I'm
usually
glad.
kind of picky with her pizza. She's kind of become a bit of a snob, and that's my
Yeah.
fault. But she ate the whole thing, and that was
Good,
that's a
good.
lot for a little girl. And so
I'm
that
so
alone
glad.
shows how great your food is, man.
Good. That's the
So what
see.
what?
That's the most important criticism is that the kids like it. That's the most
Yeah,
important criticism.
and they'll be honest. If they don't like it, they'll be like, they'll spit it out and be like,
Good.
yuccas. But she did not do
Good.
that with yours. She couldn't
We
have
need more
enough.
of that. I love that. We need more of that. We need more of
So
that. I love
I,
that.
please tell me. So right now, I want to know what the future brings. What does the future of Deadproof have? Are you looking for a brick and mortar eventually? Is franchising maybe a possibility? Are you going to be getting a food? Well, you said you're thinking of getting a trailer, but just what is your goals? You said obtainable goals. I want to know what the pipeline is so far, and if you can share it with the people out there, and what your end goal is.
Of course. So the next goal for us right now is a food trailer. So whenever anybody sees us, we're in our tent, which is good. It gets the job done. However, it's a lot of setup. It's a lot of
Yep.
logistics. We are usually the first ones at an event and the last ones out because of it. Not trying to do that anymore. I'm not getting any younger. So really, what we're trying to do is get a trailer that has kind of everything that we need inside of it, and we can just pull up and do things like go to a VA hospital like 11 to 2, take a 2 hour break, and then go to like a brewery, 4 to whatever, and be able to
Would
travel
you
like
allow
that.
for hiring of private events? Let's say I'm having
Oh
like
yeah,
some type of a graduation for my kid, or let's say maybe I'm doing like a small outdoor wedding at a public park or something like that. And instead of having like a traditional catering, would you guys do private events like that?
oh, we've done a bunch of them already this year.
There you
We've done
go.
wedding. We just did this awesome wedding in Tamworth, which was so much fun with another food truck, and it was a legit like traditional wedding. And then next thing you know, you get out of it, and the bride and groom are just such down to earth, cool people, and they just had us and a truck there, and people just came up and ate, and it was just an awesome time. And they wanted us to play our music and be our vibe, and it was really cool. And but yeah, to answer your question, Giuseppe, we do private events, we do catering, we do all of that. The trailer would make it a lot easier to take like smaller events like that. Right now, we have to have a minimum with the one tent setup, but eventually, what we'd like to do is with the trailer, we can travel to those private events or wherever more easily, be able to do those as well as have the tent out with another team. And then my personal passion project, I'm going to keep a little bit of a secret,
Okay.
but that's going to be coming soon in 2024. I'm hoping, and it's going to be really cool. And I'm excited for the future of Dead Proof. I'm really excited for the future of Dead Proof
Well,
and
please
just
keep me
how it's going.
posted, and I'd love to do a live stream with you when whatever that secret may be, and be able to
100%.
kind of premiere it for the world. And obviously, like, you got a fan in me, you got a fan in my family, and like everybody that I've talked to who've not just eaten the food, but like, shout out to Paul Patrick, who's worked with you guys, and
That's
you've
right.
let others work with you. Like, I've seen your posts, and I'm like, oh man, I want to help, but as a father of four and having a
It's
toddler and
hard,
a
yeah.
5 year old, it's hard for me to make the time. But I promise you, if the stars align, if I'm available and you guys are working someplace and need help, I will be there.
I would love that. That would be so much fun. And I just can't I can't say enough about our staff. Like we've just made so many friends over the last year of people helping us out that allow us to be so much more confident in our product, and they get it, right? They like get the vibe, they get the quality. And the biggest reason for that is that we are very hard on being people first. I want people to be able to approach us and, be able to say like, hey, I'd like to work here, but I might be able to do it for a day or whatever. Or if I can't make it, like, can I get the day off? You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. And we just have so many people that want to help us out because of that. And like, they have a great time when they're working with us. We pay very well. We just have like a really good time, which is great. Like, we're trying to make sure that people aren't drowning, right? Like, it's not your typical, you think of a kitchen or a food truck and it's just go, 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 go. And it
Dude,
is,
restaurants
but
are high impact, like just
yeah,
there's always on the go. I had an experience working at the Coliseum restaurant. Shout out to
yeah,
my friends, the Tedescas over there. And
yeah.
like that was one of my first jobs. So yeah, working in a restaurant is hard. It is one of the most grueling jobs you will ever work. And you guys not only having like you said, set up, take everything with you, make sure you have everything you need. I'm sure there's been situations like with me and my old band where you end up at an event and you're like, we forgot the guitars. Oh no. And then you're just scrambling to make it work. But at the end of the day, no matter what comes your way, you find a solution, you overcome the issue, and you get out ahead. And I can
We've
tell
gotten
that that's
very
the
good at
spirit you
problem
guys
solving.
have.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And we've gotten very good at problem solving. But I will say it's all in the name of getting better each day after, right? And like I said, we just have so many people that do such a good job for us. We have people who are continually coming back and working with us, whether it's our buddy Shane or Phil or Casey, and like we just have so many people who just love what we do, and they don't even care what the job is. They just want to come work for us and hang out. And we have things that people love that they were attracted to, like boy band power hour. Like, we do a whole hour of boy band music, right? And people
Dude,
are
I was
into it
there
and they
when
love
you had
it.
that during the Feast of the Three Saints. You had
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys, In Sync, y'all singing
Uh-huh.
along. I think I saw Matt doing like the jumping thing for Bye Bye Bye. You even had like Five from England. Like, who even listens to Five? Like, they had one
For
song I know, but they were good, solid.
for a big dude like Matt, he's agile. He is absolutely agile. But yeah, we just have so much fun, and honestly, like, we wouldn't keep doing it if we weren't having fun, and we didn't think that this was something that we could continue to do. And we're just really happy for what started as this weekend passion project turned into we have a future. You know what I mean? And it's really cool to be able to say that and do that and have people really reiterate the sentiment of, hey, this pizza's good, or like, this cannoli was awesome. And we've had people who are from places like New Haven and New York, and who have visited us, people like yourself that have really legitimized us and really assure us that, hey, this is legit, because we're not we were all raised tough, right? Like, I was raised by a single Italian mother, so for me, like, I need to hear that feedback. We can handle it, and we want to know if this pizza sucks. We want to know if something could be better, and that's okay. We're always getting better. There's going to be that, those couple pies that just make it out there that really aren't up to standard, as much as we try, to make it that way.
Well, you
But
guys are always good at taking feedback, and I really appreciate that. Consistency, like, I've almost always had amazing pizza by you, but you guys
thank you.
have always been open to feedback. I did give you feedback once before, and you took
Yes,
it in stride. And again, next time I went, it was amazing. Like, I've never had a bad pizza, but the fact
good.
that you were open to criticism is what makes you, like, a lot of people get defensive. Not going to say what place and what I'm talking about specifically, but I think we all know what we're talking
It's
about.
all good.
But you guys really do always strive for improvement, to be better, because there's always a room to improve and be better. And you got that drive, you got that dog in you, as some people say. And again, something I admire. And I hope that someday
Thank
that
you.
I can get to the point where you guys are, where I can make this two friends eat like my primary way of, like, supporting my family and following my
Yeah,
dreams. And that's the whole point why I'm doing this. I do this because I want to give people like yourselves a platform and a way to be able to share your vision, share your dreams, give, like, recognition to the people who need this, who deserve this. You have
right.
all of these places who are half-assing their food, all these large chains complaining about how they're not making money while the CEOs are making millions of dollars. But it's the people like you that keep the actual dream and the culinary, like, integrity of your art. It is an art alive. And so I want to make sure that you guys continue to do what you do. Let as many people know about how amazing your food is and the culture that you have. And that is the type of thing that this country was built on, the American dream. And you guys are living that American dream every day. So I just want to say thank you for keeping that dream alive, for you following your dream and giving people like myself an opportunity to taste the fruits of your labor and be able to share that with everyone out there.
Giuseppe, I'm gonna like take that audio and make it my alarm every day. So like when I wake up, I'm gonna wake up to that. And like I don't think I can have a bad day listening to that. That was so good. And thank
Well,
you for
it's
that.
it's
Like
easy for me to
that
say
really
stuff
means a
like that
lot.
because it comes from the heart. It really does. It comes
I
from the heart,
agree.
and I will be rooting for you guys
Thanks,
every
man.
single day, every single day, and for every other small business like yourselves who just had a dream and took the risk and are out there living it every day.
I think that more people need to do something for themselves, instead of just having a job kind of dictate what they do for themselves every single day. If it's somewhere they don't want to be. Life's too short. You should be doing what you want to do and what you love to do. So,
Yeah, make the most of it. We only live once, right? So
agreed.
why not live it doing something you love? Well, thank you so much, Dante, for taking the time to be here, letting me do this interview. And hopefully, like I said, I am very excited to see what the future of Deadproof has to bring. 2024, you heard it here first. Keep an eye out on Deadproof Pizza. Something's coming, and hopefully, I'll be there to help make sure that everyone knows about it.
Thank you for you, Giuseppe. This is great. I'm really excited. And, if there's anything more we can do to support you, we're there 100%.
You guys are doing everything you can for yourselves, and I want you guys to keep that focus. But thank you so much for letting me put my two friends eat sticker on there. So if
Of
anybody
course.
sees these guys, just keep an eye for that sticker. That is the two friends eat seal of approval. Anywhere you go, you see that sticker. That it means that we've been there, we've eaten there, and we like the food that we had. All right,
Love
there's a
that.
QR code there. Scan it with your phone. It'll take us to our podcast where you can listen to this. It'll take you to our reviews, and you can go ahead and see the Hunted Pizza, $100 pizza with gold leaf, caviar, aged New York strip. This was one of the most expensive meals I've ever paid, but it was one of the best. And you guys did a great job. You ended up giving half of every pizza of that Hunted Pizza to the Boys and Girls Club, which
We
is
did.
amazing. You guys are supporting local like charities and stuff like that. And that is something, again, that not many people do. And that is something that I admire as well. So
Yeah.
keep
And
up the good work, guys. Keep thinking of your community. Keep following your dream. And I hope again to be able to have the ability to try your delicious food soon.
thanks, Giuseppe. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. I'll see you
You
around.
too, brother. Take it easy.
Ciao.
Take
So
it
at
away.
this point, we're just gonna we're gonna move on to the last two segments. What are we eating? What are we gonna eat? And then we're gonna move on to letters. Is there anything recently that you've eaten, or you're looking forward to trying in the future? Something you
Well,
want to cook?
the thing that I think it was almost a couple weeks at this point now, but when you brought in those 3 pizza slices for me to try, it was pretty memorable. There was like the mashed potato pizza, was it a buffalo chicken one?
It was bacon chicken ranch.
Bacon chicken ranch, and then what was the last one? It's like
It was. I'm trying to remember myself.
let me look at my note here. I think
Yeah, I'm
it
gonna
should I should have it in there. It was a hamburger pizza.
Yep, the hamburger.
I tried all 3 of those. I think I went for the hamburger one first, and then I did the chicken bacon ranch, and I think I had the loaded mashed potato one last. Those were all really good. The chicken bacon ranch was what I liked about that one was it was nice and crisp, and the sauce was actually like creamy. The hamburger one had to be my second favorite, just because it was like actually eating a hamburger itself, just like encasing pizza instead of bun. So that's always a bonus for me. But the loaded mashed potato was the one that I was caught off guard with. I thought that one was a lot better than I expected, and I could probably eat a whole entire pizza with just that.
Yeah, I ended up going and did a review with my friend from Korea. His name is Rob, and we ended up going to that place. We had some left over, and I wanted to make sure you got to try like these really unique style pizzas that are New York style. It's New York style. Um, for me, recently I ended up making those meatballs. You had them last time, so I'm working on trying to make a tiramisu. So I want to make a tiramisu to bring for the next episode. So I'm gathering all the ingredients, trying to figure out logistically, how am I going to get the espresso without the espresso machine. I have a Keurig. I can get like a Bustello's espresso style coffee, and I can use that. And I'm going to experiment a little bit, but if everything works out, by the next episode, we're going to have some homemade tiramisu that I made that you can give me some info on it.
Maybe I'll have to try making some more salad dressings. I made a jalapeno ranch one time that was not nearly as fattening as regular ranch.
See, and for what I've had recently to eat somewhere, something that I had that was pretty unique, I ended up having this kind of like crab cream puff. It's not crab ragoon, but it was like the outside of it. It was at the ramen place I went. It was like the outside was crispy like a croquette, but the inside was like a bechamel. And it had like little tiny minced pieces of crab meat. It was very, very good. It was very different. I've never had anything like it. And the flavor profile was, it was unique. Definitely something I'd want to try again. I don't know how I feel about it, if it's something I want to have regularly, but I'm curious enough to want to try it one more time.
Well, why don't we get on to some of those questions so we can fit some of those in this episode.
All right, so first let's start with a question. This is from our friend Kayvon Tavares. It was from our Two Friends Eat group. He asked, what type of cuisine is in your opinion, the most underrated cuisine or doesn't get the shine it deserves, and why?
I think there's an easy one for me. Like we were talking about earlier, when it comes to like Middle Eastern food, I think that is severely underrepresented. I just think in terms for that, it's like there's not a lot of like authentic like places that are open. I don't know the real reason, because there's a good reason why there's not a lot of it, but like the places that do it usually get it right on point.
Well, you said yourself the Egyptian place is phenomenal, and I have never really heard of a specifically Egyptian style food place, and that's definitely a place that doesn't get too much recognition, right?
Yeah, I think the last place that had Middle Eastern food that was really good was actually all the way in Amsterdam. It was solid enough.
Well, you have a lot of people who always go to the staple stuff. There's people who will be like, oh, Italian food, or Mexican food, or even South American food in particular, Argentinian, Brazilian, all this stuff. But one type of food that I almost never hear about is Portuguese food. Which is its own thing compared to Spanish food, where they have their paellas and stuff like that. But I don't know enough about Portuguese-specific food. And I think that, that's definitely something that we should probably get more recognition. They probably have their own type of meals and dishes and stuff like that. One type of food that I had that it was, again, unique and doesn't probably get as much recognition as well, is Haitian food. There's a lot of like chicken jerk and stuff like that people eat, but I don't know enough, and I haven't tried enough other than like a couple of dishes that some friends who are from Jamaica or Haitian, Haitian food, that it was delicious, but it was unique to its own. And I know there's some like, Haitian restaurants here and there, but definitely doesn't get the recognition it deserves. When people think Caribbean food, it's usually Dominican or Puerto Rican food, right? And it's this type of Latin Spanish food. But Haitian, even Jamaican, not so much.
We do have our guest here, Dave Meowthews.
Dave,
thank you for joining us.
What's up, Dave? Davey.
For those listening, there's a beautiful fluffy cat right here.
Now, we also got actually a nice letter. We got a letter from a fan saying, loving the podcast. You and Peter are a riot. Looking forward to listening to more of you in the future. Best of luck and keep up the great work. And that was from a listener named Kristen C.
Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll be able to do more of this and kind of give you guys...
always seeking to improve.
Yeah, and give us feedback. Rate us on all of your favorite podcast apps, wherever you're listening for us from, give us whatever stars you think are appropriate and what you think and how we can improve. We'd love to hear it. And it's going to help us get boosted on that algorithm. Puts us in the front page for people to give us a listen. And then the last question we have is actually from a Mr. Tom Feeney. And I worked with Tom. Great person. Tom asked, what is the worst possible topic of conversation to have over a meal? Oh, God.
I feel like there's almost like different categories for worst topics. God.
Now, is this on a date? Is this like at a family meal?
It's over a meal.
Oh, God.
You can choose the situation.
Like, I've had dates where the
meal.
Dude, I've been on dates where it just vomited, like word vomit out from my mouth and just completely ruined the date. Because the topic was just either unrelatable or just dead, killed it.
I think one of the worst ones I can think of is probably talking about like a place that does similar food that's better. Because like, why would you want to talk about this place that's better
when you're in the middle of eating here?
When you're in at one place,
it's like talking about your ex-girlfriend when you're on a date with someone who you're just met. God, but if you're with family, let's say Thanksgiving, politics, religion, like those are always hot topics. But like, it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you are, the political spectrum, there's no one's gonna ever get along. I personally think that having healthy debates, and to me, a debate isn't trying to convince someone to change their mind and be on your side. It's about trying to understand the other person's point of view. You're not going to get to a point, very rarely, where you're going to have someone change their mind specifically right there on the spot. But if you are truly debating with someone and having a discussion and trying to like understand each other's point of view, you'll come to a mutual understanding in the middle, at least where you can get where they're coming from.
Yeah, I do think that if we had to put like a number one worst topic, it's got to be bowel movements. It's the only movement that everybody has to get behind, but nobody wants to talk about. Or should talk about, sorry. Unless you're at the doctor.
Oh,
it's
God.
It's a kind of crappy situation to be in.
But
we'll let those flush right down.
Oh, God.
As we hope they do.
All right, and with that, we're going to end the episode. We want to say thanks to all of our fans who are listening. Hopefully next episode will be a little bit more eventful, and we'll have like either a special guest or we'll have a couple people lined up. We're also going to have
we'll hopefully talk about the downfall of Moxie and how they went immediately out of business.
well,
we're going to get some gyros at the same time.
Yeah. And, hopefully we'll also be able to have like some more interesting questions from all of our fans. So I want to thank Johnny for helping us record this episode and being our producer and, chiming in with his 2 cents every now and then, which was more than welcomed. I loved hearing about it. I want to thank Giulio Ceccato, which is the gentleman who makes the Two Friends Eat intro and the outro song to the podcast, and almost all of the intros to the videos, Two Friends Eat series. And, and a thanks to all of you listeners for coming in.
Dave Meowthews.
Yeah, Dave Meowthews for jumping in and
don't get his name. Don't get his name wrong.
Yeah, sorry.
You've
Dave Meowthews.
You've botched enough things today, including Nutter Butters, that you can't botch.
And
Moxie. Meowthews.
Moxie.
There's nothing. I have nothing else to say about that one.
So, thanks to everyone, and I want to thank the Moxie Soda Company for making a soda drink that I appreciate. We'll see you guys around. Thank you.